In the bustling heart of Silicon Valley, where gleaming skyscrapers pierced the sky like arrogant fingers pointing to forgotten dreams, a single dad named Alex stood frozen in a sea of judgmental eyes. The annual Tech Innovators Gala was in full swing, champagne flutes clinking like mocking laughter, and there she was, Elena Voss, the billionaire CEO of Voss Motors, the queen of electric vehicles and sustainable tech. With her sharp designer suit hugging her curves like a second skin, her dark hair cascading in waves that screamed power and allure, she zeroed in on Alex, the lowly mechanic who'd been dragged there by a friend. "Look at this guy," she announced to the crowd, her voice dripping with sarcasm, a smirk playing on her full lips. A single dad tinkering with junk engines in his garage. "Bet you couldn't fix a toy car, let alone my prototype hyper engine. Fix this engine and I'll marry you, deal?" The room erupted in laughter, but Alex's heart pounded, not from humiliation, but from a spark of defiance. Little did she know, that mocking bet would unravel her guarded world and ignite a passion neither could deny. Hey everyone, if that hook grabbed you, smash that like button right now. It helps spread these inspiring tales of underdogs rising up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a story that tugs at your heartstrings and leaves you feeling empowered. Now, let's dive into the full emotional roller coaster of Alex and Elena's journey. Alex Harper was no stranger to hardship. At 32, with tousled brown hair that always seemed a bit too long and calloused hands that spoke of endless nights under car hoods, he was raising his 6-year-old daughter, Lily, all on his own. His wife, Sarah, had passed away 3 years ago in a tragic accident, a drunk driver on a rainy night that stole her from them forever. Since then, Alex had buried himself in work at a small auto shop in the outskirts of the city, fixing whatever came his way to keep the bills paid and Lily's smile intact. But money was tight, Lily's medical bills from her asthma piled up, and Alex often skipped meals to ensure she had everything. That night at the gala, he'd only gone because his buddy Mike, a low-level engineer at Voss Motors, had insisted. "It'll be fun, man. Free food, networking." Yeah, right. Now, here he was, the butt of Elena's joke. Elena Voss, on the other hand, was a fortress of ice and ambition. At 35, she'd built Voss Motors from a garage startup into a multi-billion-dollar empire, revolutionizing electric engines that promised to change the world. But success came at a cost. Her childhood in foster care had taught her to trust no one, men especially, after a string of betrayals in her early 20s. She dated sporadically, always keeping things casual, her body a weapon she wielded with precision but never let anyone truly touch her soul. That night, spotting Alex in his ill-fitting suit, looking out of place among the elites, she couldn't resist the jab. It was her armor, her way of keeping the world at bay. But as the laughter died down and Alex met her gaze with steady blue eyes, something flickered in her, a challenge, perhaps, or the thrill of the unknown. The next morning, Alex woke up to Lily's giggles as she played with her toy cars on the living room floor of their cramped apartment. "Daddy, did you meet any princesses at the party?" she asked innocently, her big eyes shining. Alex forced a smile, ruffling her curly hair. "Something like that, kiddo." But inside, Elena's words burned. Marry him? It was absurd, insulting. Yet, as he scrolled through his phone over coffee, a viral video of the moment popped up, millions of views already, with comments mocking him as the desperate dad. Rage bubbled up, but so did determination. He wasn't just any mechanic, he'd been tinkering with engines since he was a teen, dreaming of innovations that could make cars safer, like the one that might have saved Sarah. "Screw it," he muttered. He emailed Voss Motors public relations, accepting the challenge. Fix the engine? He'd show her. Elena's office was a sleek glass kingdom overlooking the city, her desk cluttered with blueprints of the hyper engine, a revolutionary piece of tech that combined AI with quantum efficiency, but it had a fatal flaw, overheating under extreme loads, stalling the entire project. Investors were breathing down her neck, and the board was whispering about her leadership. When her assistant burst in with Alex's email, Elena laughed, a genuine, throaty sound that surprised even her. "The single dad? Tell him to come in. This'll be entertaining." But as she leaned back in her chair, crossing her long legs, a forbidden curiosity stirred. What if he could actually fix it? And why did the thought of seeing him again make her pulse quicken? Alex arrived at Voss Motors that afternoon, toolbox in hand, Lily in tow because the babysitter had cancelled. The security guard eyed him suspiciously, but Elena's orders got him through. As he entered the massive R&D lab, filled with humming machines and white-coated engineers, Elena strode in, her heels clicking like a countdown. She wore a fitted blouse that accentuated her figure, unbuttoned just enough to reveal a hint of lace beneath, professional, yet undeniably seductive. Well, the hero arrives, she teased, her green eyes sparkling with mischief. But then she spotted Lily, peeking shyly from behind Alex's leg. Something softened in Elena's expression. "And who's this?" "Lily, my daughter," Alex said protectively, kneeling to her level. "Sweetie, say hi to Ms. Voss." Lily waved timidly, clutching a drawing she'd made, a colorful car with wings. Elena crouched down, her skirt riding up slightly, revealing toned thighs that made Alex's throat dry. "That's a cool car, Lily. Does it fly?" Lily nodded enthusiastically, and for a moment, the room felt less like a battlefield. But the challenge was real. Elena led them to the prototype engine, a beast of metal and circuits encased in a testing rig. "It's overheating," she explained, her voice turning serious. "Our best minds can't crack it. You have 1 week. Fail, and you're just another punchline. Succeed, well, the marriage thing was a joke, but I'll make it worth your while. Say, $1 million contract for your shop." Alex nodded, but his eyes lingered on her lips, the way they curved when she spoke. There was heat there, not just from the engine. The first few days were grueling. Alex worked late into the nights, diagnosing the issue, a flaw in the cooling matrix, where quantum fluctuations caused thermal spikes. He sketched modifications, using his old-school mechanical know-how blended with ideas he'd read in obscure journals. But challenges mounted. Lily's asthma flared up one evening in the lab, the sterile air triggering a coughing fit. Alex panicked, rushing her to the on-site clinic. Elena, who'd been watching from her office via cameras, telling herself it was just oversight, rushed down. "Is she okay?" she asked, her hand brushing Alex's arm, sending a jolt through him. "Yeah, just needs her inhaler," Alex replied, his voice strained. As Lily recovered, Elena sat with her, sharing stories of her own lonely childhood. "I didn't have a dad like yours," she admitted softly. Alex overheard, seeing vulnerability in the powerhouse CEO. That night, as they walked out, Elena touched his shoulder. "You're good with her. It's attractive." Her words hung in the air, charged. Alex met her gaze. "And you're not as cold as you pretend." The tension crackled, but he pulled away, for Lily's sake, he told himself. As the week progressed, the attraction built like the engine's pressure. Elena found excuses to visit the lab, leaning over blueprints with Alex, their bodies close, her perfume, a mix of vanilla and spice, intoxicating him. One late night, alone in the lab after Lily was asleep in a makeshift cot, Elena brought coffee. "Why do you do this alone?" she asked, her fingers tracing the edge of a tool. Alex opened up about Sarah, the accident, the guilt that haunted him. Tears welled in his eyes, and Elena, uncharacteristically, pulled him into a hug. Her body pressed against his, soft yet firm, awakening desires he'd buried. "You're stronger than you know," she whispered, her breath hot on his neck. Their lips met in a tentative kiss, then deepened, hands exploring, his on her waist, pulling her closer, hers in his hair. It was electric, passionate, a release of pent-up emotions. But they stopped short, breathless. "This complicates things," Elena said, her cheeks flushed. The next day brought a major setback. During a test run, the modified engine sparked, nearly exploding. Engineers swarmed, blaming Alex's amateur tweaks. Elena's board demanded she end the charade. "He's a liability," they said. Hurt flashed in Alex's eyes as he overheard. "I thought you believed in me," he confronted her in her office. She paced, her blouse slightly disheveled from stress, revealing more skin than intended. "I do, but this is my company." Arguments flew, voices raised, but beneath it was raw desire. He grabbed her wrist gently. "Then let me finish." Their eyes locked, and passion overtook them again. This time, it was more intense, kisses trailing down her neck, her hands unbuttoning his shirt, feeling the hard muscles from years of labor. They made love on her desk, a whirlwind of emotion and ecstasy, her moans echoing softly as they connected on a deeper level. In the afterglow, Elena confessed her fears. "I've never let anyone in." "You scare me." Alex held her. "Good. Because you terrify me too." Reinvigorated, Alex dove back in. With Elena's secret support, resources and her own insights, they pinpointed the issue, a microscopic alloy imbalance. He forged a new component in the dead of night, his mind racing with thoughts of her touch, her vulnerability. The final test came on the 7th day. The lab was packed, engineers, board members, even press. Lily watched from the side, cheering. As the engine roared to life, cooling perfectly under max load, the room fell silent, then erupted in applause. Elena's eyes met Alex's, tears shimmering. "You did it." In her speech, Elena announced not just the fix, but a partnership with Alex's shop for future innovations. "And as for the bet," she said with a wink, pulling him on stage. "It wasn't a joke. Alex Harper, will you marry me, for real?" The crowd gasped. Alex, stunned, looked at Lily, who nodded eagerly. "Yes," he said, kissing her amid cheers. But it wasn't just romance, it was redemption. Their wedding was intimate, on a beach at sunset, Lily as flower girl. Elena adopted Lily, vowing to be the mother she needed. Alex's shop boomed, allowing him to innovate safety features in memory of Sarah. Challenges lingered, blending worlds, Elena's trust issues, Alex's grief. But they faced them together, their love a blend of fire and tenderness, often reigniting in stolen moments of passion that kept their bond alive. And so, dear viewers, this story reminds us, never mock someone's struggle, for it might hide a strength that changes everything. Perseverance, vulnerability, and a dash of unexpected love can turn mockery into miracles. If this touched you, like, subscribe, and share your own stories in the comments. Until next time, keep believing in the underdog, because sometimes, that's you.